absolute pleasure to be here again at Babcock. And as I joked the last time, it's like on the day of transfiguration, where in order to, as an unintended consequence, people started speaking in tongues, isn't it? In various tongues to capture the profundity of their joy and their gratitude. So this is the way I feel again coming here today. I want to acknowledge the chairman and members of the governing council, if they're here, our ever hard-working, and distinguished President and Vice Chancellor, Professor Ademola Tayo, other principal officers of the university. I note that the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Deputy Vice President is here. I also note that my other brother and friend, Professor Tayo of Miva University, is also hibernating somewhere. Professor Francis Ekbohare has been, a leading figure in open distance and e-learning, and there is no way we can write the history of ODL in this country without capturing, the real essence of his contribution. So I acknowledge you, especially Professor Francis Ekbohare. I cannot but, acknowledge my dear sister and my colleague, the director of the Babcock University Center for Open Distance and E-Learning. And she's no other than Professor Mobolanle Shotunsha, who continues to represent distinction, hard work, and a strong power of innovation, and with the huge successes we have recorded so far, as you can see today. Esteemed members of staff, principal officers of this university, students, distinguished graduates, and their proud parents, members of the fourth estate of the realm, our friends from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, your presence here, and your respective roles make you invaluable addition to the vision and to what we are celebrating. So I acknowledge each and every one of you in case I have glossed over any. Friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, as was the case in my previous visit to this great citadel of learning, I would like to bring you warm felicitations from the National Universities Commission, from the Executive Secretary, the management, and the staff of the NUC, and by extension, because the NUC, as we always argue, is a nodal point to the Nigerian University space, and today I think we are slightly over 300, because every day, and we're still counting, every day you wake up, there's a bill that has been assented to, that has been approved at the at the National Assembly, and even for the private provision, we will have to keep expanding. Don't ask me any question as to why we're massifying university education, but if you want to, I will explain to you that we are very much on course. We are duty bound. We have to, undertake deliberate policies that will expand access, and equity in university education. On this historic occasion of the maiden graduation summit of the Center for Open Distance and E-Learning, acronym the BUCODeL of Babcock University, I'd like to express my deep appreciation to the proprietor, to the Vice Chancellor, to the management, to the staff and students and the organizers of this event for finding me worthy to deliver this keynote address on the theme Digital Learning for Global Impact, of all the ODL experts, of all the eggheads, of all the academics, and the leading scholars, and for me to have been found worthy, I'd like to re-echo Professor Ochotunsha, Mr. President, the deep sense of gratitude that I feel for this special recognition. I also extend my heartfelt congratulations to the graduating class in honor of whom we are here gathered today. The theme of today's summit, Digital Learning for Global Impact, is both suitable and timely, considering the substantial impact of digital technology on higher education, both nationally and internationally. And as you are quite and fully aware, digital technology continues to traverse local and global boundaries across cultures and in all human endeavors. We have been reminded that digitalization permeates all and sundry without respect to time, without respect to space, and without respect to socio-economic stratification. And as you're already also aware, in the education sector, digital learning reimagines the spaces and experiences of teaching and learning by collapsing, by removing the barriers and bringing together the idea of classrooms and campuses into a boundless, borderless, and vibrant ecosystem of teachers and learners at any time and at any place. I mean, we saw the beauty of OGL, the mothers that have given birth while studying, the workers, people who have retired, who have gone back to the century of learning, and the beauty of it is that learners in a place like Owerri actually can connect with and learn from their peers in Ile-Son-Remo or in Jos, my place of birth, or even in Canada to collaborate on projects, and have access to the very best teachers and learning resources. And in the same vein, this community of learners can simultaneously acquire highly valued 21st century employability skills such as digital literacy, cross-cultural communication, problem solving, and critical thinking. We continue to argue, and we're pleased to note that learners can do all this on their own terms, in flexible ways, and at their own pace, without the sort of socio-economic encumbrances or geographical constraints that are associated with the conventional mode of education. And I dare say, without any doubt, that digitalized education, now more than ever, facilitates the provision of scalable, adaptable, and more inclusive means of achieving the goals and aspirations of mankind, as well as providing evidence-informed and quality education pathways. And rather than serve as a mere race for certification, digital learning continues to turn education into a ladder for empowerment, and produces citizens who are digitally literate, who are employable and capable of engaging in the development of society. And now, the role of the National Universities Commission in all this evolution, in this paradigm shift, because the National Universities Commission has been saddled with a very vital and strategic responsibility of the orderly development of university education. I mean, there's no way you can account for the progress we have made in this sphere without giving cognizance to the pivotal and pioneering role of the National Universities Commission. At the NUC, we recognize that the future of higher education will be defined by flexibility, by inclusivity, and adaptability to change. The Commission, therefore, has developed and launched the open distance and e-learning guidelines to guide Nigerian universities in building suitable, sustainable, credible, and globally competitive open distance and e-learning systems. We woke up and we found out that universities, were, charting their own courses. There was no such coordinated, well-coordinated platform for undertaking OGL, and therefore the NUC, out of necessity, and was policy, duty-bound to prescribe policies and come up with these guidelines. And these guidelines have since now become the operational framework for Nigerian universities that are interested in building sustainable and credible ODL systems. I must also add that the NUC has been working towards creating enabling environments for the takeoff and growth of ODL, even beyond where we are today. We have, promoted and championed capacity building for academic and support staff. You can see the ovation, the loudest ovation that we got here was from the support staff, because those are the bulwarks, that will keep the engine room for any ODL enterprise going. And I want you to give them another round of applause again. We've also, strengthened ICT infrastructure for ODL. We've encouraged international collaboration among others, because the university enterprise is a member of the global community. I mean, there's no way you can be proud of your brand if you do not, by necessity, collaborate, if you do not, link up and glean the best practices from other clients, from the unfolding developments in the sphere. And as a regulatory agency, the NUC is also fully aware that its roles and functions cannot and should not be static. It must not, and I underscore, the NUC must not obstruct or frustrate innovation. Rather, it should protect standards and promote growth and development in the higher education subsector. And here and there, I would like to say that we're here as NUC to make it possible for you, not to make it impossible for any intending university. And I want to, say, very clearly here that our support for, BUCODeL will not be less than 100% at all times. And although industry practice has left much to be desired, what we have found out, the reality, the objective reality, objective conditions on ground is that in many distance learning operations, there have been, very, disheartening, experiences, that we've begun to notice. Sessions, very disheartening that sessions may be abridged and online interaction are sometimes inefficient. And we're also given to understand that many students, who are not only lazy, but do not want to apply themselves, engage in hiring private tuition providers for them. However, the good news is that our own BUCODeL stands out today as a model of what is possible when vision, structure, and dedication come together. We have noted with pride and with a deep sense of fulfillment that from the design of its learning management system to the strategic engagement of learners through mentorship, analytics, and continuous assessment, this center reflects and imbues the best practice we envision for Nigeria's higher education in the digital era. You deserve another round of applause. And speaking about the future, we've been dwelling on the past because the past is in the eyes of the present. For Nigeria to maintain her momentum in digital learning, it is imperative. It has become imperative to prioritize continuous investment in digital infrastructure and tools, including broadband access, power supply, and required hardware. Digital learning must be made an important learning tool for all Nigerians and Nigerian institutions, rather than being perceived as a luxury found only in urban areas. I mean, how else can you scale up? Can you make the impact so profound if it is just restricted to people in election, Remo, people in Lagos, the rapidity of this movement, as Professor Shotunse alluded to, can only be justified if we, deepen and we widen, access through the nooks and corner of this country. We must sustain the practice of building the capacity of all categories of staff on a regular basis so as to provide them with the digital skills required for successful online teaching and learner engagement. I mean, capacity building, tooling and retooling. Nobody, would have graduated as a PhD in ODL, in Nigeria, because this is an emerging trend. We must, out of necessity, put in place, capacity building policies. We must deliberately train people, expose people to the best practices and to modern techniques of ODL. The nation's universities and all stakeholders must also be encouraged to collaborate with one another and with government agencies, the private sector, and international partners to develop a cohesive and dynamic digital education ecosystem. Investment in research, in development and innovation to create indigenous educational technology, because ODL is capital intensive. Because ODL is too peculiar a task to be left in the hands of one individual. I mean, it behoves on the country, it behoves on university leaders, policymakers, to do this in a stakeholder collegiate. And I dare say that Nigeria must continuously develop and review a functional digital education policy. And finally, as I conclude, I want to congratulate and celebrate our graduating students. You are the trailblazers of Babcock University Center for Open Distance and E-Learning. You are the embodiment of what is possible when opportunities in digital learning are embraced. You have demonstrated self-discipline, you have demonstrated adaptability and courage in a learning model that demands critical thinking, independence, and tenacity of purpose. You are graduating today not only with degrees, but more importantly with a set of skills that are in demand globally, such as the digital literacy, remote collaboration, self-directed learning, critical thinking, entrepreneurship, the ability of the Nigerian graduate to grow wealth, to grow capital, to manage men and resources, the ability to think out of the box, but more importantly also graduating with a set of skills that are globally in demand. I want to say that you should proudly consider yourselves as architects of Nigeria's digital future. On the challenge of equity in resource allocation, friends, colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I enjoin our university, and I'm not just speaking to Babcock University alone, this is to the entire Nigerian university system, to invest heavily in their distance learning centers, not only through their normal budgetary allocations, Mr. President and BOSA, not only through your normal budgetary allocations, but more importantly, and rightly so, through reinvesting the revenues accruing from distance learning centers into distance learning proper by optimizing infrastructure, especially state-of-the-art technology and capacity building at all levels. I mean, I heard, my dear friend and colleague, Professor Shotensha, brag that they have put in place state-of-the-art. They have deployed technology, across the spectrum of BUCODeL. I cannot emphasize, Mr. President and colleagues here, that developing a distinct pedagogical identity and embedding institutional, standards to support learning, teaching and assessment cannot be the core business. This is the core business of, the university. And I will, urge this administration under your able leadership, to continuously invest in producing, in bequeathing a virile, distance learning center that will be the MD of the rest of the country. I want to also speak to the graduates that as you pass out today, remember that your success is not the end of a journey you've been told over and over, but the beginning of a mission to influence, to innovate, and to impact the world through what you have learned. I therefore challenge you to go forward and become ambassadors of change in your communities and industry. Let your success, let your hard-earned success demonstrate that digital learning is a viable and transformative path to excellence, and that graduates of ODL, as you heard from your director, can also enjoy parity of esteem like their counterparts from the face-to-face conventional, program. Don't feel any inadequate. From now henceforth, wherever you meet a graduate of Ahmadu Bello University like me, or University of Ibadan or OAU, you have no business feeling inadequate, or like someone who has fallen short. You have been fully prepared by BUCODeL to go shoulders high, to deal and to compete with anybody on any intellectual platform. And by way of conclusion, I'd like to salute Babcock University for its visionary leadership in launching and nurturing BUCODeL. The university has as you have heard, not just on BUCODeL, but in all other spheres, in all ramifications, in the real sense of the word, the university has taken bold steps that position it as one of the forerunners in digital learning in Nigeria, and also as a partner in shaping the global education landscape. On our part in the NUC, we shall continue to implement the Commission's reform agenda, driven by the most current innovations in digital technology. We're inspired by your example and remain resolute in our commitment to supporting institutions like Babcock University to deepen the reach and impact of digital learning. Let me take a cue on a day like this with a game-changing, opportunity in your hands as the one that you have in your hands. I take a cue from one of the Ivy League universities. On a day like this, the men and women of that Ivy League university are told, they're actually made to believe that they can go out there to rule the world. May these debutants, this pioneer class of BUCODeL, go out there to conquer and to rule the world. May the future be the brighter for our graduates today, for BUCODeL, and by extension for Babcock University. I thank you once again for your kind attention and for listening, and may God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Please continue until you take your seats. All right, thank you very much. Yes, you can have your seat. Thank you very much. Mr. President, Vice Chancellor, please permit us at this point to project the QR code for the Babcock Center for Open Distance and E-Learning Programs. Please, can you project the QR code? So you can have it. And it's also for those who are, where is it coming on? All right. So it will come on shortly. And then after that, we shall be having a documentary, specially prepared for all of us here for this program. So again, sir, we'd like